My name's Paul Johnston. I live in Brighton in the UK. Welcome to my studio. This is my cat, Moshi. Hello. He's quite comfy. So I'm a musician and I'm a writer, and I want to tell you about an amazing project that I've been working on for a few months now. It's called Trouble in Hong Kong. It's a story with music, and it's set in 1989. The story features two young guys that have a passionate affair while they're living in Amsterdam. But it's not to be. There's drugs, there's homelessness. It breaks them up. But that's just the beginning of the story. After a couple of years, they meet each other again on the streets of Amsterdam. And that's where really the story kicks off. But what a story. There are smugglers, there are drug runners, there's a tough female captain whose beer you would not want to knock over. There's murder, there's double crossing, there's a transgender girlfriend, there's lots of ladyboys, and there's lots of adventure in Hong Kong and in Amsterdam and on the ocean. Amazing story, the music is amazing, and to be honest, it's bloody brilliant, isn't it, Mosh? So I'm asking you to basically get involved right at the beginning of this project. Help us get to a stage where we can rehearse it and produce it as a showcase in Brighton for the Fringe Festival in 2021. The script is written, the music's written, I've illustrated a graphic novel version of it, and it's all ready to go. We just need some money to really make it a reality, and I think once you have heard the story, you'll want to be part of this as well. So what I'm going to do is tell you, narrate the story a little bit, not in a massive amount of detail, but enough to give you a flavour of it, with the illustrations, with some of the music that's been written for it, and you can judge for yourself. I think you'll absolutely love it, and I think you will want to be part of this incredible adventure. Yeah, so have a listen to the story, have a listen to the music, make up your own mind, but do come on board, and let's get this thing presented as an amazing showcase at the Brighton Fringe Festival in 2021. Thanks for listening.
Trouble in Hong Kong. The prologue. It's Amsterdam. It's 1989. It's a long hot summer, and Tony and Tarquin are both young guys of 18. They're feeling their way around a bohemian city where anything and everything goes. Tony likes the drink and the drugs and experiments with gay sex. Tarquin is comfortably gay and has big plans for himself, though they mainly seem to involve crimes of some description. They come together for this one summer and have an intense and passionate affair. But their paths were already preordained. Tony was sliding into a netherworld of drug use and sofa surfing, and Tarquin was beginning to move in criminal circles in the city, as well as enjoying all that the gay scene had to offer in this eternal city of pleasure. Tony disappears, and sadly, Tarquin moves on alone. It's 2 years later. A few years on from that summer then, Tony has hit the bottom. He's rough sleeping, and he's using drugs and drink, and he's reduced to living on the streets of Amsterdam. It's Christmas, and he considers the irony of Christmas cheer with all the misery of homelessness, and he sings the first song, Christmas on the Moon.
Christmas on the moon, as lonely as the stars. Christmas on the moon, you might as well be living and loving on Mars.
Desperate to feed his addiction, Tony resorts to mugging tourists, even turning tricks to make enough money to buy his next fix. One night he finds himself out of his mind on heroin and begins to argue with internal demons about ending it all. Tormented by the demons and on the brink of suicide, Tony cries out to God to help him make it through one more night.
A man is made of blood and bone. He fights for feelings that he cannot own. He He's a force of nature, not a polished stone. His reptile brain has a mind of its own. God touch me tonight. Stay with me tonight. Oh, can you forgive me for what I've done?
Meanwhile, Tarquin is back in Amsterdam after a successful drug-running trip with his criminal mate, the captain. He's cruising through the back streets with a date, and Tarquin runs into Tony crashed out on the street. At first he doesn't recognise him, but slowly it dawns on him who this is. Tarquin quickly dumps his date, and he takes Tony under his wing, and they head for a nearby bar where Tarquin knows the owner and is sure of getting some help to clean Tony up and find him a place to stay. That bar is the Nightingale, and since the death of her father, it belongs to Georgie Girl, along with the debts and the crumbling brickwork. Tarquin and Georgie Girl know each other, and Georgie agrees to help Tony. They clean him up and clothe him and put him to bed in a guest room so he can sober up. Tarquin has to leave to join the mysterious captain on a trip, so he's going to be away for a few weeks. He leaves money with Georgie to take care of Tony, rather like a good Samaritan. And during the next few weeks, while he's away, Tony thrives in the company of Georgie and helps her around the bar, cleaning, serving customers. He and Georgie become close, and there's a definite frisson between them. One night, while Georgie is closing the bar, Tony steps outside with his guitar, and he sings a song called 1000 Years, which tells of how he's falling for Georgie. He thinks Georgie can't hear, but she hears him okay.
If I was given 1,000 years and I lived them all with you, I would still be heartbroken when my 1,000 years was through. If only we had known how few those years would be.
Tony and Georgie Girl's blossoming relationship is interrupted when the larger-than-life captain and her crew, including Tarquin, return from their trip. They turn up at the bar to celebrate their latest successful drug run. There's much singing and dancing, and the captain takes an interest in Tony, not only because she needs crew, but also she finds him very attractive. Georgie is very pissed. The captain sings her song Captain of Some Renown.
I just can't stay on dry land. I could sail before I could stand. All the diesels are running hot, giving me all they've got. Trading is my game. What do you have? No need for a name. My holds are capacious. There's no questions asked. Need some bootleg barrels moved, a couple of classic cars, some artwork stolen by Nazis, or 1,000 big Cuban cigars. From Rotterdam to Havana, from Panama to Aberdeen, there's no port in the world to which I can't steam.
Tarquin and the crew try to persuade Tony to join them. Tony's torn. He's falling for Georgie Girl, but he needs money. He can't sponge off her goodwill indefinitely. She's given him the incentive to turn his life around. And the crew and the captain then sing their song Trouble. Tony relents.
Hey, hey, come on, sail away. Me, your manly muscle,
he agrees to join the crew. The next day, Tony and Georgie Girl bid each other a sad farewell, and Tony joins the crew on their way to Hong Kong for the biggest drug deal that the captain has ever undertaken. Georgie, alone in the bar, sings the ballad of Georgie Girl, which tells her story.
The king is dead, long live Georgie Girl. Proud and beautiful, but incomplete. Standing tall and still, wrapped up against the chill. At the center of this crazy world. Oh, Georgie's dead, long live.
The voyage takes them to Hong Kong to pick up the heroin. As they steam through the glistening moonlit seas, Tarquin and Tony are alone on the deck. Tarquin kisses Tony, but Tony pushes him away. He reminds Tony of the love they shared that summer. Tony rebuffs Tarquin. He's in love with Georgie Girl. Tarquin is pissed off. After all, he saved Tarquin from the streets. He recalls the summer of '89 when they were together, and he sings The Kiss like never before, perhaps like never again, a kiss so sublime.
Like never before, never again, a kiss so sublime. Taste of tequila and salt, your tears on my tongue. Oh, the kiss. Sea breeze in your hair, sea salt on your skin, your head on my shoulder. The lights of the pier shone on your face. Time dissolved to space. Oh, the kiss. Kiss me again. Make time stop. I fell in love with you. Under the clock. Kiss me again. Make time stop. I fell in love with you, and now I can't stop.
The ship arrives in Hong Kong harbour. The excited crew disembark for shore leave. The captain has to meet a gang leader called Jewel. She owns a drag cabaret bar, and the crew head for a night out where the captain's going to conduct his business. The crew arrive at the Queen of the Red Light bar, and the ladyboys and drag queens entertain them mightily. They get out and strut on the catwalk and sing "It Takes Balls to Be a Girl." The crew are in heaven.
It takes balls to be a girl. Walk like a girl, talk like a girl. It takes guts to be a queen. Oh, pretty and lean, from the cover of a magazine. I've gotta go running in heels, move my ass like it's real. Gotta squeeze in my dress, be careful what I reveal. It takes balls to be a girl. Flirt, shimmy, and
Jewel arrives, and the mood changes, along with the lighting. She greets the captain in a friendly but slightly untrustworthy way. Jewel knows Tarquin from Amsterdam. She says you're a rare beauty. I'd like to add you to my collection of beautiful things. The captain and Jewel do the deal. The heroin is exchanged for the money, and the drinks start to flow. As Jewel mellows, she begins to tell her story. She was a Vietnamese refugee. She was orphaned at the age of 4. She was brought up by criminal gangs and sold into slavery, and she finally killed her tormentors. And then she went on to become an even more ruthless criminal than the people that had taken her. She sings her song, Chasing the Dragon.
Chasing the dragon. Through the red lights, the back alleys, triad gangs and the sampan hideaways, rough dealing, bank bond stealing, dirty business from the top to the bottom. Chasing the dragon. Chasing the dragon. Kidnapped daughters, smuggling trawlers, bent prison waters. In every level, casting class has its dealer, pimp and pusher, fighting and scratching for a slice of the action.
I'm an ordinary girl in an extraordinary world. I made a fortune out of nothing, but something is missing in my world. I was washed up on the shore, orphaned at the age of 4, brought up by thieves beyond the law. I fought my way out, tooth and claw.
Chasing the dragon. Chasing the dragon.
Fully loaded with booze and drugs, the crew leave Queen of the Red Light Bar and head back through the alleys of Hong Kong to the docks. But they're not alone. 2 assailants have been tailing them. And in the dark alleys, they leap out, they stab Tony, and they take the drugs. All hell breaks loose. The crew are running around, trying to find out what's happened. The captain is spitting on the sidewalk. Meanwhile, blood is pumping out of Tony, and the crew are trying to save his life with a tourniquet. But the captain's no fool. She knows the back alleys of Hong Kong. And before long, she and the first mate have cornered the assailants, and she's dispatched them with a bowie knife across the throat. There's blood everywhere. There's bodies on the street of Hong Kong. It's time to go. With the heroin recovered, the crew head back for the ship. The wounded Tony is taken below for treatment, and they cast off, headed for the Suez Canal. It takes 12 hours to pass through the Suez Canal. They'll refuel, and then it's full steam ahead to Amsterdam. The ship arrives back in Amsterdam. The captain disembarks to trade the heroin for cash with her dealer. The crew pace anxiously up and down the deck, waiting for her return. After some hours, she comes back with more cash than they've ever seen in all their lives. The money's divvied up between the crew members, and it's time to hit the Nightingale. The crew arrive at the Nightingale. Georgie's relieved, angry, upset, deliriously happy to see Tony, despite his terrible wound. As the party starts to get going in the Nightingale and the dancing and drinking begins, Tony asks Georgie to marry him. Georgie, I've got money now. We can be married. We can pay off the debts to the bar. We can have a life together. The crew are in uproar, laughing and cheering and slapping him on the back. But Georgie's not happy. She bursts into tears and she runs out of the bar and down to the waterside. Tony catches up with Georgie by the docks, where he and Tarquin had spent the summer all those years ago. Georgie eventually confesses to Tony that she was born a boy and she's transitioning to female. She's scared that this means the end of their friendship, and it means she can't give him the things she wants. Marriage, children. Tony's shocked and surprised, but he says that doesn't change anything for him. He loves Georgie regardless. They sing Big Sky together.
Blue as the sea, big as the sky. Wild as the waves, you and I. Deep as the ocean, love sets us free.
Happy in each other's arms, Georgie and Tony head back to the bar. The party is in full swing. The crew are singing Balls to Be a Girl, Brandy, Wine and Smack. Georgie and Tony announce to the crew that they're going to be married, and the party notches up even higher.
Brandy, wine and smack. Brandy, wine and smack. We don't want fancy, we don't want poncy. Can't stand parties, big G&Ts. Brandy, wine and smack. Brandy, wine and smack. Karens and Kevins to the back of the queue. The crew are here, we're coming through. Brandy, wine and smack. Brandy, wine and smack.
But what of Tarquin? Tarquin and his unrequited feelings for Tony. Tarquin turns to the audience. He breaks the fourth wall. And he shares with them that Jewel gave him a gift before he left Hong Kong. A box, a secret box. And in that box was a ticket to Hong Kong, a wad of cash, and a job offer in her empire. Will he take it? What's to lose?